Hi folks, it's a new day. A clean shaven, little ding on the forehead, but it's a new day. My wife has asked me to try and organize. We've got a tiny house, and I mean, when I'm talking tiny, this is it. This is it. And I've got a bedroom and a bathroom and what would be considered a very small kitchen. And my last addition was building this cabinet that's just full of clutter, and clutter just drives me crazy. So my wife has asked me to deal with this area. Now I've got a big cabinet, not a cabinet, a shelving unit that I built for my parents. It's a 2-unit side by side. It's huge. It won't fit in there. I told her that I would build something. And she said, "Oh no, because every time you build something, it costs a lot of money." I said, "No, I've got the materials. All I need is just a couple things." And she said, "See?" She knows me pretty well by now. Anyway, I'm gonna try and I did pretty good on the arbor yesterday, so I am going to try and do this for free, pretty much, with what I've got on hand. I don't want it to look bad, but we need something here. So I'm going to go get my tape measure. I'm going to lay this out, try and find a home for everything, get rid of the table and chairs, and maybe build a flip down one, and build her an ironing board that comes out of the wall, that kind of thing. You know, just space saving everywhere I can, and money saving as well. So, okay, here we go. I'm going into this with a good attitude, so I hope it works out. No more broken tools. All right, stand by. Here we go.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper.
All right, I've kind of straightened up the shop a little bit. I've drawn a little picture here. I have 8 16-inch by 8-foot chunks of plywood I can play with. So this will be the top. I don't know, maybe enough room for make some shoe racks in there or something. And so it begins. Cutting boards. I just love my wife. I want to make her as happy as possible, so this is why I'm doing this instead of doing other things, I guess. I love you, honey. Got my pieces cut and starting to assemble. So, soon to be a cabinet with no doors. But I can build doors some other time. But right now, let's just get a cabinet with some shelves in there and a place to put all the stuff. Well, here's the following day. I've ripped down some 1x stuff just to cover up the plywood edge, and I'll probably end up painting this thing. I don't think it's going to be stained. Whatever paint I can find laying around here, but anyway, I'm gluing it, shooting a few brad nails into it. Then I'll do the horizontals on the shelves and yada 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 like that. All right. Okay, I've trimmed the whole thing out with 3/4 inch clear, maybe Douglas fir or pine. I left the top a little bit wider, the face of the top. I've actually recessed this portion of it because I want to try and get some kind of a flip up table or slide out. I haven't figured it out. And this is left over from a job that I did at Rocket Republic. It's a small piece of butcher block. I think I might cut it and then join it together and make that the tabletop. All right, I've gone over it with some putty, filling in the nail holes. I've got my facing on. This is the preferred putty, my choice. Plastic wood. It's really sandable. When you open it, get a little bit on your putty knife and close it immediately because it dries very, very rapidly. And then you store it upside down. You can see that the label's printed upside down, so you want to store it upside down. And let's see, now I'm gonna probably flip it, let this stuff dry real well, and then I'm not gonna worry about sanding it just yet. I'm going to work out how I'm going to build the tabletop that's going to flip up. And then I'll probably build a couple little stools that'll sit in here when this thing's vertical like this. Then I can pull a couple stools out. I can make one small one and one big one, and they'll nest because, you know, my wife's so itty bitty tiny that she can have the tall one. Okay, all right, so here we go. I broke these 3 pieces into 3 pretty much equal pieces, and I think I want the lines vertical. So yeah, I want the lines vertical because you'll be able to see all this. Okay, now to join them together, I think I'll use some pocket screws. I've got my pocket screw jig all dialed in and getting ready to drill some pocket holes, and then I'll screw it together, glue it and screw it. All right, it's pretty important when you're using these pocket screws to keep your work surface flat, because it'll tend to bow up if you're only drilling from one side, which is kind of the purpose of a pocket screw. So I've clamped it down. There's my 2 sections, my glue line. Anyway, I'm going to unclamp it all and wipe this excess glue off so it doesn't stick to my table. I'm going to make a walnut trim to go around, sorry about all the noise, but to go around my table, butcher block table. But the thicknesses, I had 2 pieces and they're different thicknesses, so I have to plane it down so they're equal. All right, my walnut border's on. I'm gonna let this glue set up and then I'll sand it all down. Actually, I'm not gonna use it for a chopping block, so I should probably just put some, you know, some good spar urethane on it or something. All right, here we go. All right, my fold-out table's done, and I have puttied all my nail holes and sanded it down to 220. And now to figure out how I'm gonna mount the table. And then I'll remove the table and put a clear coat on all this. I guess I'll do a clear coat. Why not? A little more work, but that should look okay. All right, that's it for now. It's about 10 o'clock at night. This is day 2, so not too bad. Getting all this done in 2 days, I guess. Okay, here's day 3 on the cabinet. I tried using some door hinges to mount my table, but that was a big fail. I'm trying to do this on the cheap, so I went and I bought a, doggone it. Let me just shut this off. Sorry. Okay. I bought a piano hinge. So that's the right part for the job. And it's all sanded and blown off and vacuumed, blown off with air. And I'm going to put a clear coat on it and let that set up and move forward. I've got some spar varnish, but I've also got this polyacrylic, which is pretty cool. I don't know how old these cans are, but I'm going to open them up and see if I can make one usable can out of all of these. Some of them are pretty old though, so we'll see how this goes. I'll let you know. Well, they all appear to be good. That one has some rust around it, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put a filter on this stuff and pour it all in one container. All right, I got one full container here, so I guess I'll try and apply it and see what happens. All right, here goes. Obviously, I'm not going to show coating this entire project. Oh man, that brings out the grain nicely. Okay, see what it looks like when it's all done. All right, the first coat is done. I got the first coat done in about half a can. And I did not do the top because I'm going to flip this thing over and mount this guy. So I don't want to do that and finish the top just yet. But I got all inside the boxes in the face. And it didn't darken it up too much, but it's going to preserve that color. And It makes the grain pop, yeah. But I'm really excited about this part. This is gonna look great. And my apologies go out to Chris Martin for not working on his registers. I built this register here. It's a lighting system for a funeral home, and it's got stained glass in it and whatnot. But anyway, my apologies there, brother, son. All right, it's kind of like watching clear coat dry. I guess that's it for the day on this thing, and I really can't do any sawing or create any sawdust, so I'm kind of standing by to stand by. Still waiting for it to dry completely. It's almost not tacky now. I'll give it a little while, but I'm ready with my 220, baby. I'm ready to go for it. Clean it off, blow it off, and then put a second coat on it. Probably needs 3 coats. So I don't know if I'll have enough of that polyacrylic there to do this and the top. I'm hoping I do. All right, I just went over it with 220, and now I'm gonna blow it off and sand it off. I mean, vacuum it off, blow it off, and then put on a second coat. And we'll see how that turns out. All right, the second coat is on. This stuff dries kind of flat. So, what I really like about it is it debubbles itself pretty well. I can see some bubbles in it, some really small bubbles, but they just go away. So that's one of my favorite parts about it. The part I don't like is it's not all that durable. It's for interior use only. You can't really use it on floors or high traffic areas. But maybe 3 coats on here will be sufficient for a little tabletop. And so we'll give it a try. Now, this is, again, kind of like watching polyurethane dry. Just watching YouTube videos and checking out other people's channels and, you know, some of the people that subscribe to me. Anyway, all right, well, it's a waiting game now. Okay, I've kind of gotten a little bit bored waiting for grass to grow and paint to dry and that kind of thing, so I've resorted to a little bit of Captain Morgan and Coke. Actually, Captain Morgan Black and Diet Coke, but, you know, okay, so I don't know if you can see the shimmer here, but it's smoothing out. It's really feeling good. It's almost ready for a second coat. I mean a third coat, but there's no bubbles. It's a perfect finish. And you know, if any of you followed my steampunk table, I used spar varnish on this, and what a pain in the butt that stuff is. I mean, if you don't get it perfect, and sanding, this is like 5 coats on here. I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong. And the finish is durable and it's wonderful, but it just takes a long time, a lot of dedication, a lot of dust-free area. This stuff is worry-free, like a 4-year-old can do it. I brushed it on without, you know, the steampunk table, you have to be extremely careful. You have to, you know, watch your brush strokes. You can't brush too much. You don't want to overbrush it. You got bubbles every time. I've had bubbles. This stuff, polyacrylic, is wonderful stuff, but it has its place. Okay, anyway, hey, listen, I don't know if I should finish this video now. I probably should. It's getting kind of lengthy. So I'll finish it and I'll start a new one. So me, my Captain Morgan. All right, so with on that note, I'm gonna sign off of here. Subscribe, like, share. You know, Daddy needs more polyacrylic, so share this, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.